Welcome to Win with lifestyle entrepreneurs Josh Williams and Justin Knoll. Each week, we will be bringing you inspiring people or messages to help you win in every aspect of life. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Sat down just in time. Woo. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? What's up, guys?
How are you?
What's going on?
Good, another day. Hey, I know I put on there 8:30, and that's my bad. It's now I don't know where we at.
It's 1:58.
1:58. Sometimes in Josh Williams' life, this is how things go. We're 6 hours, 5 hours late, whatever. But don't worry about that, because today we're gonna blow this up. We got Damian Brown on here with us. Super excited to have you on. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
So those that it's crazy small world. We get in here today, find out Justin and Damian at one point played on the same freaking football team.
Same
A-Town,
football
baby.
team.
A-Town.
A-Town's finest.
Represent.
Centaurs.
That's it. The
Centaur
Centaurs
Nation.
was it. Orange and blue.
Orange and blue.
Yeah, we thought we were the Broncos too, didn't we?
Yes, that was the closest thing to the Broncos Little League.
When I hear Centaur, all I can think of is Role Models, the movie, and the dude rolls up in that freaking, big old freaking beast truck. That's what I see you guys playing right now.
Centaurs.
Right.
For those young people who don't know what a centaur is, look that up.
Yes.
Human/horse.
There it is.
We were amazing. And that's all there is to it.
That's right.
Aurora to the fullest. Like this is who we are.
Yeah.
So
A-Town.
you all right over there? I know you're
I
scared.
don't know.
Aurora's in the house.
I started
It's Michael
scooting
Jackson.
over it a little bit as soon as I heard it. It's okay, though.
Hide your wallet.
You know how we roll up there in Westminster.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
So hey, man, so happy. I mean, I met Damian. It's probably been almost 10 years now, probably, right?
We go
Maybe
way
more.
back. We go way
God,
back.
that's probably closer to 15. I mean, it's crazy. It's one of those people. When I first met him the first time, I was like, okay, I can hang out with
Real
D.
deal, yeah.
Right, like this dude's super cool. We can chill. Then we end up going to the same training, hanging out together, eating some Chinese food together.
Yep.
I mean, I remember the whole trip, man. Waking up in the morning, pulling the curtains back, you couldn't see anything because you had the morning sea layer coming in, from our training in Cali. But that is where it all started, and then we just became this friendship. And then I got to learn more and more about Damian as we grew, as friends and the things we do, and realize how many amazing things you have done, and then also how many things you've overcome throughout your life. And that is super exciting for us to have you on here to be able to talk about that today, because that's the encompass of what we like to talk about within this podcast is where people are at, where they're going, how can you get better, those types of things. So, man,
Awesome.
thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
no
we're
problem.
pretty excited. So one thing that always intrigues me. So you were an athlete.
Yes.
Played at a high level. We were talking before we came on. I remember in high school, I was out of high school. You were still, it was your senior year, and you played against my stepbrother's team in the state championship game.
Yeah. Put those names out there. Eagle Crest versus Hinckley.
Eagle Crest versus Hinckley.
Wait a
That
second.
out there.
Hinkley had a football team?
Yeah,
Hinckley High
man.
School. We played against Hinckley High School.
Okay.
State championship
Shout out to
was there.
Hinckley too. We had some good friends from there. So shout out to Hinckley. Yes, that was that was awesome.
There were some athletes in Aurora, and I think that was kind of the peak time. Of course, it was our time, right? When we were in high school, we always look back like that was the best time.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was kind of this pinnacle of so many great athletes at that time. But I remember specifically, man, this is no joke, was the thing to go watch that state championship game was to go watch you play, right? You were the best running back around. You were the best, certainly in the city, probably the state, if not,
And I'll take all that. I'll eat it up.
Take that.
I'll eat it up.
Like, bring
But
it
I'm
back.
gonna throw some names just so that I can
Yeah.
give some shots out. There was still Mike Jennings was over at Overland. You had Teacher's None from Sierra. You had Terrell Cameron, who was one of my teammates who I played with. There were a number. We were talking about Corey Michital from Hinckley during that game. Shout out to all of those guys because although we're competitors, so we want to say that we're all the best. But there were a number of great athletes that came out at that time. Great running backs, from all over. I'm trying to think. There was McDougal from A West, man.
Yes.
So we can't forget any of those guys. Those are some very good running backs also that came out at that time.
So what was surprising to me, because I was in high school, I played baseball. I tried to play baseball, right? And Josh did too. And we were good. We were decent. But there was always that next level of ball player, right? I played with Roy Halladay for a while. And that's another level of athlete.
yeah.
But what was it, even in high school and Little League, because we played Little League
Right.
football together, what was it back then that drove you? Was there something that you just knew this is what you were going to do?
Man, great question. For me, it was really, I had an older cousin who, my cousin Donovan, who I used to go watch him play when I was younger. And he played every sport and was good at every sport.
Yeah.
And he was older than me. So my cousin Donovan, my cousin Gene actually was older than me also. And to play with them, you had to play at their level. So I was about 5 years younger than they were, going to hang out with older cousins who were like, well, we're going to play basketball, we're going to play football, we're going to play baseball. And my cousins, none of them would allow me, they wouldn't make it easy. They were like, if you're going to play with us, you got to play at our level, or go home. And if you cry, go home, and that was it. Like there was no, it was black or white. Like here it is. You're either gonna do this or you. And I had to play at their level, and they wouldn't take it easy on me. I mean, I remember playing tackle football with no pads. I remember playing baseball with my cousin Donovan and us playing, and they were, you were pitching at each other, and I'm, way younger, and the ball is being pitched the same way it was being pitched to my older cousins to me, and I watched them dominate, and they were really good athletes. And so for me, I just wanted to be like my older cousins, and that's where it came from. And then from there, I took it a little further when I realized that, you could be good at this, and, I wanted to always be great at it. I had a learning disability growing up, so when I was in school, like reading and writing and spelling and things like that, and arithmetic were never my strong suits. So that was my go-to. If you were going to be good in class, I was going to be good on the field, right?
Wow.
And so when I would struggle, in classroom, we still had recess or we still had gym. And then I would dominate there. So no one wanted to make fun of me because they all wanted to have me on their team, right? So you're not going to make fun of the guy.
Do not say a word to him in the class, because we do not want to play against him outside.
We have to pick him first pick. I need Damian on my team, and Damian needed help with math, right? So there's a little give and take on that end of it. But that was just those were the things that my cousins motivated me. That motivation to dominate while I was out there during the recess times and things like that. Then I had an amazing mom who kept her foot on the pedal when it came to me, and my younger siblings that were. I mean, she was no joke. She is old school when it came to, you can't get away with this stuff. She got away with can't get away with stuff now. But you know what? If there was a whole bunch of Bettys around, I tell you what, the world would be a different place right now. Right? Yeah, 100%. So, she was old school. She was young when she had me. She was 15. Yeah. And so you imagine being I had to look back at that. Yeah. When I turned 15, I was like, oh my God. When I was 15, I literally thought, could I have a child right now? Right. I have a 15-year-old right now. I can tell you right now, this brother cannot. You can't. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. And it wasn't going to work for me. So to have a 15-year-old mom with the mindset and the belief that she had to be tough and hard and push us is what kind of sparked what I have going on now.
Did she whoop you guys?
Whoop that. You know what?
Whoop that ass. We got it.
Yes, you would get an ass whooping.
You could get.
I mean, you see him and his brother, and she ran the family. That's what it came down to.
She was no joke. I'll tell you a funny story. One time, I'm out playing basketball with my buddies, and my sister and brother they did something, got in trouble, and they were getting a whooping. So a couple of my buddies, were outside. They were laughing. My mom heard it. She comes out. Are y'all laughing? Who's laughing? One of y'all laughing? You'll get it next. You will get it next. My friends cleared up. And the funny part about it is those guys loved my mom so much because she was such a one of those figures that you had to respect. You respect that type of. They would come over, hi, Miss Brown, how are you doing? Give her hugs. They were, they knew not to disrespect. They would tell anyone who was new, don't go over here and disrespect. And it would be total opposites from what they were when they were at home.
Right.
And their parents used to be like, hey, Miss Brown, can you talk to such and such?
Oh, my gosh.
Because it was no joke. Like, she was that type of person, man. She did not play, but every bit of that is a product of what she's been able to accomplish through my sister, my brother, and myself.
Wow.
Well, the cool thing about that is then, she obviously loved you guys. She supported you in what you did, but she also knew she was a mom first, right?
Mom first.
She's not your friend. She's not.
She would tell you
she's-
that.
Yeah. I am going to discipline you. I am going to be your mom first. And then, we can be friends later, right?
100%.
And I think that you say, the kids would come over and respect her more. You see that a lot in today's parenting, right? You see a lot of parents who, because of the fear of what's going to happen if I, lay a hand on my kid or whatever, I can't really be
That
that authoritative
figure,
parent. I need to be their friend. And you see a lot of that's, you hear a lot of people, don't be wrong, I love my millennials out there, but you hear a lot of those millennials that just don't get it, right? Because they just weren't raised with that, that strong fist, tell them where they go. So, man, I love that about your mom. I like that she was like, I don't care. These are my kids. They're going to be damn good kids, and we're going to make it right. And that's what she did.
She did a great job. She did an
And
amazing
whoop
job.
neighbor kids' ass. That's even better. I love
Yeah,
this.
everybody,
Right.
everybody
This is
could
the
get
best.
it. Any and everybody could get it. Let you be an adult and doing wrong, you could catch that
Laugh
too.
one time.
Yeah, right. So it was good, man.
awesome.
Definitely awesome.
So clearly you've pulled inspiration and direction from your family, and that's huge. Cousins, aunts, uncles, I'm
Yep.
sure. Mom is the center point still.
Mom and grandma, yeah, they're still around. My grandmother lives in Vegas,
Okay.
and she was the other authoritative figure around.
Yeah.
At that time was my mother and my grandmother, aunts and uncles. But you lived in that time frame where everybody was a part of raising everybody's
Right.
kids,
Yeah.
and that's what made it better. We don't live in that ananymore. Where
No, we don't.
The minute you try to talk to someone else's kids, the parents want to jump in and they want to, don't talk to my
Wait a
kid
minute,
like
yeah,
that. And you're like,
yeah.
hey, I'm just trying to tell them, hey, don't do that. There's a better way.
Yep.
So it's different.
So I'm excited to talk because I do want to transition into what you're doing now, but I don't want to get too far down the road because you still got a lot of story to tell on your playing days and how that went.
Yeah.
But there is such a transition between what you're doing now and what you just said, and I'm excited to dig into that. But so you left high school, done. Were you state champ?
Yes, I was a state
champ.
champion.
What is that, 14-0?
Yeah, 14-0, Eagle Crest,
Woo!
baby. You know how we did.
Right.
Yeah, 14-0. We don't know what losing felt like. I don't know. If you know what a loss feels like, please email or text me.
I will go ahead because I went to Gateway and we didn't win a game for a year and a half straight, and we didn't even go to the games anymore. So I know all about what it is to have a losing. I didn't play. I was like, I'm not playing on this. This is garbage. So. All right, so you leave high school, and then what was that process like? Picking the next place, picking your next, your next adventure. How did that go?
It was great. Moving on to college was outstanding. It was a great.
Highly recruited.
Oh,
Yeah. Clearly, yep.
I was recruited by a number of places.
Yep.
And so I think it was. I think it was. Moving on to. So I went to Iowa State. It was a great experience. Shout out to all my coaches, my high school coaches. So I don't want to ever leave those people out. Those were another set of very dynamic and instrumental parts of my growth were, Coach Ron Peterson, Lawrence Chavers, Jim Snyder, South Hall, Larry Bull, Davis. All of those guys were amazing male figures. That also did a great job of, because, once you have your mom's going to try to do the best she can for you, but it's still your mom, and you don't become a man learning from your mom, you know? Right. I mean, unfortunately, you can't do that. Yeah. And so those were the guys who instilled how to be a man to me and held my feet to the flame on doing the right things, on working hard, on having great values and structuring my life that way also. So shout out to all of them because when I was trying to make a decision to go to what college I was going to go to, it came down to me being in Coach Pete's office one day, and I was planning on going to University of Washington.
Really?
Over in Seattle. And so they had recruited me, very excited to have me come. But I wasn't quite sure. Coach Pete was like, what are you thinking? And he talked to me a little bit about Iowa State, and because they were offering me also. And I'd already committed to UW, but I wasn't sure. Wasn't something about it that I don't know. And so they come in. Coach Lambright comes in, I remember, and my recruiting coach, and they sit down, and we were trying to get a hold of them ahead of time. to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't come in right now, or maybe can we push the meeting back? Well, they were there. We're in the meeting, and Coach Lambright's like, you ready to sign? We're excited to have you. And I start having some trepidations about it, and I'm like, hey, I don't know. I really want to just wait can we wait until we meet? Because we're going to meet with my mom at the table, dinner table.
Yeah.
You do all
I'm
that
like
stuff.
tense already.
Right?
Like this is
dun, dun, dun. Get to the point. What happened? What happened?
I'm like, you're a kid. You were still a kid.
Yes, I am. What, 16, 17 years old, 17 years old,
gosh.
and I am literally trying to. And so Coach Lambright says, he looks at me and says, this isn't really a decision for your mom. This is a decision for you. Which, here's the thing, I understand that. I get what he was trying to say. But when you tell a kid who has grown up with their parent being such an instrumental part of their life, telling them to make a decision like that away from that
without
parent
them,
and not giving them the opportunity is not fair, right? So to get back to the story, I sit there and I go, I'm in there, I'm looking at Coach Pete, looking at Coach Lambright. He's like, this is something you need to make now. We came here, and I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, this is really this is one of those man moments, right?
Yeah, right. Here
Adult
you go.
moments, one of them. Here you go. And I look at Coach Lambright and I say, you know what, Coach? I think I'm going to go ahead and pass.
Wow.
I think I'm going to pass. Now, how that went after, because if everyone ever met Coach Lambright, he was that dude, he turned red really fast and he had like red hair. So it was like this red blondish hair. And started to huff and puff a little bit. My coach asked me to leave the room, and then they had some kind words after.
Yeah.
And so from there, I went to Iowa State. I called back, and I had actually turned Iowa State down, told them I wasn't coming. Then I called them back, and they were super excited.
Oh yeah, they were.
But I mean, that's how coaches are. They're always super excited about having every recruit they can get. So that's where that transition to college.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. That transition, right? Because you're the man. You're 14-0. You're one of the top running backs in the state of Colorado, and now you're going to go be a backup at Iowa State.
Yes.
And if I remember right, was it two brothers that were
ahead
of you, right?
Troy and Darren Davis.
That's right.
Those were so. Troy was there. Darren was younger than I was. Troy was there. Was already there, and so I get to Iowa State and. That was a very unique experience also because you go from, like you said, being a starter all your life. Yep. From Little League, you start, you're the best in everything you do, and you get there and you realize everyone is just as talented as you are. Right. Everyone has been Mr. something.
Right.
Mr. Miami, Mr. Colorado, Mr. Texas, Mr. something when they played at their sport. They're all top-notch athletes. This is D1. And so the minute you say, well, and I mean, I ran for 2,000 yards. He's like, so did I.
Yeah. Oh, that's all? Yeah.
Right. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
2,200 yards.
Right.
2,500 yards.
Just
I had this many touchdowns. I had one more. So, which was, it was great for me because there's always a plan. And you know what, when I can, as a 43-year-old man, or soon to be 43-year-old man now, I realized that plan was in place for me to go through the experiences I needed to go through there. Being behind Troy was awesome. He taught me how to block. Like between him and my running back coach, who was Kirby Wilson. Shout out to Kirby over there. He's over running back coach for Arizona Cardinals right now.
Oh, geez.
Those guys taught me how to block. I didn't have to block when I was in high school.
Right.
And it was,
You're like, give me the rock, I'm just going to run.
Please don't block.
With me, you need touchdowns and yards. You didn't need no blocking, right? That's what you needed. I got to college, they were like, you need to learn how to block. And I was like, what is a block?
Yeah.
Right.
So I learned by watching Troy knock people out constantly.
And he wasn't a big guy.
Not a big guy at all, but he had great technique. He was sound. I believe he used to wrestle too, and so he would get low, great base, boom, and you would catch it.
Yeah.
Ask Matt Russell from CU. He remembers. I remember what happened to him. Those were great opportunities to learn. Now, did I touch the field as much as I wanted to? No, and that was tough.
Yeah,
that was a humbling experience to sit there and watch people when you wanted to be in the game, when you wanted to play, and you felt like, man, like what's wrong with my abilities? Y'all don't know what I can do. I'm fast. I can do this. I can do that. No, it was a very humbling experience. and I made great friends, and my coaches were Coach, Kirby was amazing at that time. Coach Larry Kerr was my recruiting coach, another great guy. I think Larry's he's at Dallas.
Oh, wow.
I think he's the offensive line coach right now. He was over at the Vikings. Yeah, so all these guys have done some great things. These are great coaches. And so, but they taught me what I had to learn from that was that just because you were good in Colorado doesn't mean that you can't stop. You can stop working to be better and to be great, because somebody else out there has worked just as hard and maybe won it that much more than you do.
Sure. Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, so then you're at Iowa State, and you go, okay, maybe this isn't the best situation for me. Mm-hmm. And then you decide to make a transition, right?
So I decided to transfer. Something it just wasn't working out, and I was like, you know what, I didn't see my life being in Iowa the rest of my life, and so I went ahead and transferred. I was going to go to Oklahoma State, but at that time you couldn't trans D1 to D1 and continue to play. You had to sit out a year. Yeah. I didn't want to do that, so I transferred to Northern Colorado, where it was amazing there. I mean, those were some good lessons too that I learned. I actually got a chance to play. I kind of had a little bit of PTSD from not being able to play, and if you got yelled at, you got taken out immediately and didn't play. So my coaches, the thing that they did a little bit differently is that if you made a mistake, they were going to get on you. I mean, they were going to jump you.
Sure.
But you were going to go back out there and fix it on the field. So if you missed a block, you guess what? You're going back. The next time you better not miss that block. Now, if you miss it again, you might not play no more. But that's the difference between when you're coaching to build someone up. That person puts their head down. I mean, I was always the type of person that you didn't need to yell at me too much, because if I fumbled, if I didn't make a play, I was beating myself up, not for myself, but for my team. Right. I mean, I'm hurting my team. I missed that block. That got the quarterback sack. Yep. He threw an interception because of me missing that block. And so it became a very, they taught you, if you messed up there, get back out there. But thanks to Troy. Thank you, Troy. I learned how to block, so I was knocking cats. I was giving people the business.
I got to UNC, and I
got to UNC, and trust me, that linebacker drill where they would run up and that blocking drill, I was okay with. I was cool.
Talk a little bit about that mindset, because now you're going from different leaders, right? Different ways of leadership. One leadership is, hey, you get it right or you're off, right? And the other leadership is, hey, let's go get it right. What's the different mindset there? Like, let's talk about that leadership, because now you're leading a bunch of kids now and in that leadership role, and we're almost to that part in your story. But let's talk about how you transition from being able to handle the different coaches, because that's a lot of people go through that adversity in life. They have to leave one job to the next job because of leadership, whatever. Right. How'd you deal with that, man?
I mean, it was great. When I got to UNC, Coach K. Dalton was the offensive coordinator. Joe Glenn was our head coach, and K was a very unique coach, to say the least. And getting to understand, what it was that he was going to demand out of us. He was a very old school coach. K used to coach over at the Broncos, and so we had an amazing offense that was very difficult. My offense that we ran at Iowa State was easy compared to it was like just maybe so 200-300 level, right, in college. When I got to UNC, that was like a 900 level offense. It was no joke. Wow. And Kay would, he would call you a dummy. Are you a dummy? Are you a dummy? Then run my plays right, Come on, number 10. And he would, you didn't earn your name being called until you earned your name being called. Other than that, he'd call you your number. Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. I remember one time I messed up on a play. He's like, number 10, do you smoke weed? And then get my play right. I don't smoke weed, but maybe I should. And so, but for that leadership was what the thing about that, and the change when you're talking about mindset is that, it was about your growth. They saw something in you. They knew you could get it done. It wasn't going to be, you one and done. You get in there, you get out. If you make a mistake, it was really going to teach you. We had I had a great running back coach and great people around me, and they weren't about to. They knew my ability, and some of them knew my ability because I came back to Colorado.
Right.
So that helped out a lot too. But the mindset of saying, hey, you know what, you can get it done, go out there, that just sparked some belief, which made me want to play harder, which gave me that confidence in myself that I needed at the time. So they were great coaches, but there were lessons to be learned throughout that whole entire thing, and it's great because I didn't realize that and I put this on my, if you're following my Instagram says mindset to success, and I changed that, and it has D Brown. Well, I put that on there because it really is. Like, I realized that my whole life has been a mindset to success.
Yeah.
I'm not done yet, but I'm still trucking along, and I believe that wholeheartedly because of the people who came before me, who forged the way, who pushed me, and who knew that I could be more than I knew I could be.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing right there. I mean, me and Justin coach, right? D Brown, you coached a little bit, and I'm not going to say I've never pulled a kid out for making a mistake, because I damn well did, and it was my daughter.
And it happens.
And it's funny. It's actually not funny. It's terrible, but her confidence completely was shattered when I pulled her out of that game, right? And she's 12 years old. This was when she was 11. Yes, I just said that. And she still today will let me know. I know, freaking jerk, right? Still today will let me know, Dad, I can't believe you pulled me out of that game when I made that mistake. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, I can't either. Right? What was I thinking? But, even coaches make those mistakes. But I love hearing coaches at high levels that coach different so that everybody can learn from that. And that just helps in the leadership piece of it. They built that confidence in you, man, for you to be able to go back out there and redo it, where if you do pull them off, now you second guess, can I make that block? Well, can I do that?
And I would say this, there's nothing wrong with pulling someone off if they're making mistakes. But if you pull me off and tell me why. Don't pull me off and just say, go sit down. Yeah. Pull me off and say, look, we've talked about this. We went through this in practice. We've practiced it a number of times. You're going to hurt your team.
Yep.
So I pulled you off because that hurts your team.
Yeah.
So when you do that and your coach pulls you off and says, you're getting pulled off because of this.
Yep.
Same reason that, so if as a parent, sometimes we look and the kid gets pulled off, you're like, why my kid getting pulled off?
Yeah.
So they want to come and talk to the coach or things like that. And you want to ask your kid, why'd you get pulled off? Your kid should be able to explain. Coach told me I got pulled off because I was supposed to guard this man, and I didn't do that the way I was supposed to. I was supposed to do this, and I didn't do that the way I was supposed to. So, at that time, they pulled me off. I mean, that's coaching is a chess game that's moving really fast.
Yep.
So sometimes you have to do that. Now, if you pull me off, and then you say, the next time you go back in there, I need you to make that play again, or understand that that's what we practice. And then you put me back out there. If I do well, awesome. If I don't, you got to pull me off again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of learning in athletics, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want to say that pulling a kid off is the wrong thing to do.
Right.
I just believe that if you pull a kid off, explain to him. You should have a reason.
Yes.
It's like getting a whooping and being like, "Why'd you whoop me?"
Yeah, because I wanted to.
Because
You look funny. That's why
I said so. My mom used to always do. She used to be like, "Can I go do this?" And I'm like, "No." So, why? Because I said so.
Because I said.
And I'm like,
Yeah, that was my mom. Because I'm the mom. That's
because
why.
I said so. So you didn't rationally think about why I can't go to the party, why I can't do this.
Right.
And it's not that she owes it to me. It's just that how am I going to learn? How do you learn if you don't explain things to young people,
Yep.
I tell my son, he hates when someone says that to him. So I'm always trying to tell my kids, if I say something to him, hey, you can't do this. Well, why can't I? First off, I want to be like, as a parent, you're like, because I'm the parent. We want to say that because I'm your dad.
Yes.
Right.
But honestly, I understand. Like, tell me why, Dad. Listen, you've been to 3 parties this week, or you've been to 2 parties this month. You don't need to go to every single party out there.
Yeah.
I want you to stay and spend some time with the family. I want you to do this. Have a reason.
Yeah.
That way, they can't be upset. And even if they are upset at that point,
At least they know.
I've told you. You understand. Put your slippers on because you're hanging with the family.
We talk about that all the time. Clarity is power. Clarity is so much power, and that is huge. One thing you said in here, coaching is a chess game that moves really fast.
Yes.
How do you prepare? Because you coach. I want to transition to what you're doing now.
Oh, I'm athletic director.
Yes, I know, but you have
you've
coached, been
yes,
coaching,
yes.
and in that realm, and you've been around coaches. Are there certain things that you see similar between the way that you parent, the way that you coach, the way that you direct what your job is now? I mean, what parallels are you seeing?
Man, that's awesome. That's a great question. That really is.
He throws some good ones out there.
Well, I'm out.
That's
I'll see you guys later.
You are done. You are done for the rest of the day. Take it off.
Pin drop, baby.
Yes, you know what? There are a ton of parallels between coaching, work, and your everyday life with your family. I believe. If you're a coach, you're not only coaching your team, you're coaching your family. If you're the boss, the manager at your company or whatever, you're the head coach there. So everything you see, like when you're talking about coaching being a chess game that moves really fast, is that when you're in the middle of a game or a match or whatever it may be, you make decisions and you put people in place to be successful to win the game. In football, you call a play based off of the defenses you're seeing and what they do.
Yeah.
So if you're in a specific cover 1, cover 2, cover 0, bear defense, if they got a lot of people in the box, you're going to make, if you're a good coach and you know what you're doing and you understand that, your offensive coordinator is going to make calls based off of what their tendencies are and what they see. Same thing, vice versa for the defensive coach. The defensive coach is going to throw a defense out there based off the offense they see. So that's the chess game. And in life, the same thing happens. As an athletic director, I'm constantly, my day is filled with a number of I don't knows. Meaning, like, I can go in and I try to manage my day and say, I'm going to do all this today.
Yeah. Right.
And then next thing you know, people start coming in and all this other stuff starts happening and things have to be done. For my job, I have to be able to make judgment calls and I got to be able to make decisions based off of what's important, what needs to be taken care of, the safety of our kids, doing the right thing, trying to work within my moral and values, my morals and my values, So there goes the coaching part of that, making sure that I'm making the right moves for DPS athletics and the regional athletic program over in Montbello to make sure that we're being successful and we're serving kids the correct way. No different from when I'm in my household and I'm raising my kids, which is sometimes tougher because everyone else gives you the respect that you feel like you deserve a little bit more when you're outside
Except for when
of
you're
it.
at home.
Except for when you're at home and they're like, oh, it's just dad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just dad. And so when you're at home, you have to always, it's even more critical when you're at home and you're dealing with your kids, and they coming at you with concerns or problems or issues or the issues or problems that they don't come to you with because they don't want to come to you with any of that stuff because they don't want to talk to you about it. So you have to kind of be able to understand what your kids need, what your wife needs, what your household needs, what's going to happen, So at least when you're at home, if you have a wife, you have two coaches. You're the assistant and your wife is the head coach.
Well said. That a boy.
Yeah, you know what?
job.
Hopefully
that
they're
just
listening.
came to me too. So.
Your wife better watch this tonight. Be like, babe, go watch this.
That just came to me, and I think kudos
Winning.
to myself for the winning. I think so. But that's just how it is, And so, or I'll even go even further. Co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I co-parent with my ex-wife and I, and we are, then at that point we both think we're head coaches, right? So how are two head coaches going to work together? And we have to find ways to do what's best for our kids because we love them so much and we want to see that they're successful. But it's another coach. It's just coaching.
Yeah.
It's just called something different. It's called parenting.
I know that's real good right there.
Was that deep?
That was deep, but that was good right there. No doubt, man. That was good. We even got Mike Huber on here watching. He's like, man, no doubt, right? He's like, he gets it, right? So, man, you just talked about that transition from playing college, then coming back out, going into, being an athletic director and the coaching piece of it. You deal with so many different personalities every single day. How do you do that, man? You get so many people that come in. You got so many different kids from different backgrounds, different things. How do you deal with that?
I think the first way to deal with it is just to understand that everybody's different, and you can't treat everyone the same.
Yeah.
We're all different, and so we have to build relationships, and relationship building is the key to any kind of success with when it comes to people.
Yep.
If you don't give a person a chance to learn, maybe what their story, their their wants, their dreams, whatever it might be, whatever. If you're going to deal with especially the people you deal with on a consistent basis, if you don't build relationships, then no one knows that you care about what their concerns are, especially as a supervisor and as a manager. Each one of my coaches, I tell my coaches that every one of them, like, we're all in this together. So I might be the leader, but I'm smart enough to know to have leaders around me.
Yeah.
I tell my wrestling coach, I was like, I don't know jack about wrestling, but I have an amazing wrestling coach who knows about wrestling.
Yeah.
And we don't always see eye to eye. None of my coaches always see and think that I, like what I have to, a call I might make or things like that. But, they respect me enough to know that, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of them and for our kids. And I think as a leader, you don't come in and Josh McDaniels any situation.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right,
that's what I call it.
Just threw that out
You
there.
don't Josh McDaniels any situation and get rid of
Beef right here.
and get rid of top people. What you need to do in any organization is give it a chance to understand what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's how that kind of that's how you grow a program. That's how you grow a business, especially if you're coming in to a business that's already been operating, or an organization that's already been operating. What was going great in that business? What was what needs to be changed and tweaked? Sometimes it's support. A lot of my coaches just needed support. They weren't getting that before.
Sure.
So sometimes you need some support. You need some advocacy. You need someone to stand behind you and give you some coaching. Yeah. And then once you've done that part, then you can start making changes based off of what's our value structure. What do we believe in? What's our mission statement? And if your coaches or employees believe in that, and they're bought in, then we can be successful. If it's not something for them, it's not a personal thing.
Right,
and I tell my
right.
coaches all the time, like, I'm not personally attacking you as a person if we have to part ways. Right. I am just doing what's best for the business and the organization and our kids, and that's what it comes down to. Because I could, I tell people all the time, my supervisor was my best friend for a while, and if I wasn't doing right, he'll be like, I'll fire you, and we'll go get a burger after.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right? We're still
burger and a beer on me because you don't have any more money. Right. Yeah. So
I fired you.
Right.
You're done.
Exactly. So, but that's the way you should understand it. And I think today people take things so personally, so you kind of have to walk on a little bit. Yeah, I don't do a good job of walking on eggshells, but I do a good job of trying to understand and let people know that I understand, that you may not like everything that I'm saying, but I think that's how you do it.
I think it's the one thing we hear most from people when they're asked about their leadership of their company, their family, their church, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. What they always say is, I just want honesty, right? I just want honest communication. Just tell me where I am, how I'm doing, what I can do better. And I think we're, as a society, as you were kind of leading in, was we get nervous about that. We get scared of that, and we shy away from that anymore. And that's what people actually want from us, is that honesty, and we're afraid to give it sometimes.
I hope people want honesty. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes in our society, people say they want honesty, but then when you give the honesty, they take offense to it. And that's the problem, is that I tell my wife all the time, I'll call people tissue paper soft, because I'm like, man, it's just like, you got to be able to, and it starts within ourselves, right? Yeah. So if you come to me and you say, Damian, this is where I feel like, you can do a little bit better, or you can work a little harder, or this would help you out. If I take offense to it right from the get, if I jump to defense, then what you probably given me something that I probably should think about, whether it's relevant or not in my life, is another thing. But what's wrong with me at least taking the opportunity to say, okay, one of the things that happened when I was going through kind of one of the tough times, when I was going through my divorce, is that I sat back and I called some friends of mine, and I called each person. I called like a whole bunch of people who I felt like meant something to me, who I valued. And I said, it was kind of like, how you do a work evaluation on every employee you have, and your boss does one on you. It was the same thing, except it was like my own life evaluation. I wanted to know what people thought. Like, if I'm dead tomorrow, what are you going to say good and bad about me? What could I have done better? And my thought process was this: everything that lined up that you said about me down the middle is the stuff that I probably should look at and think about. Now, the one-offs are one-offs, right? Right. Everybody has something. But anything that was common, So if you said something, you said something, you said something, and it would all fit in here, then I put it in that box. And I would look at it, and I would say, okay, and the great part about it is I could be like, you know, I got a couple people, even my sister, they're like, you get a little selfish sometimes. You're really, you know, every now and then you're a little bit of, you know, like they'll be like, well, you know, going to a birthday party or going to a family function, and I'm not going.
Right.
That's selfish.
Yeah.
So whatever it was, though, you know, I look at it, and then it was up to me to say, this is something that I can fix or I'm willing to fix. Or
Right.
this is something that everyone's just going to have to deal with because I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
you know? And that was very, a very big change in my life. It was like a changing point in my life of understanding me a little bit better through the eyes of everyone that knew me and people that I cared about and that loved me. And I think it was tough because you hear some stuff,
Yeah.
you know, Damian, I think you feel it, you know.
Yeah.
But you have to be able. I asked for it. So I
Right.
can't. What am I gonna do now? I'm mad at you, Josh. Don't ever call me again. Don't want to talk to you. You know, like what? You're my friend. You're gonna tell me what I need to know to be successful. And if more people would take the time to understand what they need to do to be successful by understanding that, you know, someone feels some way about you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you want the
Oh, yeah.
people to tell you the truth, so that you can and don't. You know, and you want those people around you who love you. You know, the people who love you are really going to tell you what you really need to know anyway. So take that information, the one-offs are one-offs, but take that information and then understand, hey, I might want to make some changes, or I'm okay with this. And some people are just going to have to deal with it.
Well, you know, you talked about the honesty piece too, though, which is that's the key. Where I wish people. So I did this little thing online where I said, hey, give me 3 hashtags that you think describes me, right? And I mean, it was nice. It was cool. Everybody was like, oh, you know, all these nice things, right? One person said he didn't like my taste in music. It was okay. That's your one-off, right? You know, but it was so nice. Like, I would have loved for people to have been like, Josh, you're selfish. Josh, you're 5'7" and freaking bald, right? I don't know. Give me something of not just giving me kudos, right? Like, I love that, man. I want to. It makes me want to go challenge people to be like, here, give me the things that are not just that you think are just the great things I want to hear. Give me the things that I need to work on.
You can have the goods and bads. I mean, because I asked. I said, please give me what you would say good about me, and give me what you would say that I need to work on or that I may not like. You know, that was what I asked.
I love it, man.
I asked
So
my
good.
ex-wife. That's how serious it was to me. And she was gonna give me the business.
Oh,
She
yeah.
gave me the work. She really did.
yeah.
You know. But here's the thing.
But
the
she
stuff
probably knew
that-
you better than
She knew me better than anyone. And the things that were in the box were the things that I was like, hey, that's true. The ones that were off, which were
Yeah.
few. you know, but that was fine, you know. But you ask those people because ultimately, you know, she wants me to be the best father I can be. She wants me to be the best I can be for our kids, for sure.
Right.
You know, so I can't be that if you don't give me the information I need.
All right, so I'm going to take this and run with it. I personally, and I always have my you know, we call it our sphere of influence, or those around us that are so important. I am going to do this exercise because I think we get sometimes you read your own clippings, right? You start buying into, man, I got shit figured out. I'm good. I don't need anything. But that's so narrow, right? Because we think that about our work, or you know, I'm lifting hard or doing this, or I'm eating really well, and you think it's only that one segment, but everybody really the flashlight comes on and they see your whole thing.
Right.
So I'm going to do this. I would challenge everybody out there too to find those people that are closest to you and know the most about you and ask them for real, and you got to be real with it, right?
Yeah, you got to be able to accept the things you're not going to
Man, I'm
like.
nervous already, though. I'm nervous already. Like,
Hey.
what's going to happen?
I just saw a sweet.
I may not get out of bed
sweat
for
bead roll down his
yeah,
forehead
like,
right
I
there.
might be in bed for 2
dang.
weeks, just crying right now.
Everyone hates me, really.
I've done nothing good.
Podcast coming to you next week from Justin's bedroom.
I'm eating ice cream if you want to know what that sound is in the back.
We do love ice cream. I love this. So I want to finish with, I mean, I want to hear more about what you're doing now specifically. So the athletic director of, what all are you covering? It's a lot, right?
So Montbello High School is
Yep.
no longer Montbello High School the way it used to be. For those of you who are Colorado natives and people who know about high schools in Colorado, it is now called the Far Northeast. I'm the regional athletic director. It's made up of a number of smaller schools. So a school can have anywhere from 400 to 600 students. We have about 8 of those DPS schools there in the far northeast. They're broken up into tailor-made schools. So one's called NCAS, which is a no community arts. We have DCIS, which is different international studies, things like that. We have an amazing school, MLK, Martin Luther King Early Junior College. We have CPA. So those are all the schools and there are some other schools that we currently have there. There's about 8 of those, and then there's 3 charter schools. So the way it works, this is a little breakdown of how this works.
That is a lot right there already. I'm like, dang.
Dude.
Right. And I'm tired.
Yeah.
So, right. So the way it works is that all of our schools in that area compete for the Warrior Athletic Program, which used to be Montbello Warriors, right? We still wear the silver and black, repping that all day. And all of our kids participate.
Except for Sunday.
Centaur orange and blue, right?
Right, exactly.
just correcting. It's all right, you know.
Exactly. So, but that's what that's what it's about. It's a regional program that brings all of our kids. We participate at the 5A level. We have an amazing program. I was athletic director over at Adams City High School for 3 years before I came over here, and it was a job that I wanted, was to come over to the Montbello area. I have cousins and family members who actually attend the school. I have younger cousins who attend the school now. From my older cousins, I have family members that live in the area. So it was near and dear to my heart because when Montbello broke up, it was kind of tough on all Coloradans who remember Montbello as being Montbello, and so. I really felt like, if I could get in there, we could do some things. And we've done some amazing things. We have, we've added some new coaches who are critical to our student athletes' growth as student athletes, as young men and women. We've got some. We got new lights for our field. We got new uniforms. So it's an awesome thing to watch. Something come together that you've worked so hard to accomplish. We just had our first 2 wrestlers go to state. That hadn't happened in, I think, 5 years. And we've had where our basketball team has done well, again, making it into state. Our population of student athletes participating is growing. I'm super proud of our kids. We have amazing kids. People, it's crazy is when someone says, "Hey, you work in Montbello? Are you scared?" And I'm like, no, number one. This is actually not even the Montbello of old. It's super gentrified. So, when you see somebody jogging in the morning with a dog,
it's okay.
They may not look like me. I'm just saying. It's an awesome place for our kids. We have some great community members who have been there for a long time, who love the community, who are bought into the success of the program. We have great principals in our schools. We get a bad rap from time to time because people don't know. Yeah. They don't know how good we really are out there. Yeah. We have amazing schools that are doing great. Go check out Martin Luther King Early Junior College and see if that school is not a very successful school. Go check out CPA or NCAS or DCIS. These are awesome schools in our area. And I'm super excited about being an athletic director, leading our kids and supporting and serving our kids, and leading our coaches and supporting and serving them. And my team. Shout out to Paul, Ricky, and Lachelle. Nice. And I love what I do.
One of the other things that he doesn't mention much, though, is that watching you thrive in what you're doing. Like, I've been able to see you over at Adams City doing those things, and I know that, you loved it, but it was super challenging, and going through just getting to the point where you're going to be an athletic director, and then seeing where you're at now, it is so much fun to see you, like, the confidence just in your post. Like, we talk about the social media piece. Yeah. Like, seeing the things that you post, and yes, truly loving the Warrior Nation and being behind them and growing that and doing the things that you're doing there. Like, you're in your element, man. This is what you would love to do right now.
I'm in the pocket of life right now. It's really good. I really feel like you said with the social media thing, my mindset to success is like my thing. Like, every day you wake up, my wife, she'll be like, "How was your day?" And I'm like, "It's always good." And I say that because I woke up, literally. I mean, I woke up today, and I tell her that. She'll be like, "How's your day?" I'm like, "I woke up." So whether it's a bad good day or a good day, it's a good day. Yeah. Because somebody isn't waking up. And I believe having a good mindset is very important in your life, because the way you wake up and what you think about yourself in the morning, or what you think about your success for that day, or your overall success is gonna dictate on how your day is gonna go, how your month's gonna go, your year, and your life is gonna go. And I've come a long way from when we were young bucks, and that's because of awesome people. I mean, it's come from you. We used to own. We had a what was our enhanced fitness something. We had a Colorado Athletic Performance where we used to do speed camps. And let me tell you, we started off that first year, we had like 10 kids that came out, and then we ended up with like 40, 50 kids.
Yeah,
holy cow.
With us.
With just us, know.
Yeah.
And speed, and he's involved.
It was speed. I mean, some people don't have to always be fast to coach fast. But
we'll be racing in the street after the podcast.
But he's a good coach, you know. You know what I'm saying? He's the Bill Parcells of running. He didn't run, but he can teach you how to run.
That's right. That's right.
So, but Josh helped me out. He's been a big part of my life. He's seen my ups and downs. You've seen a lot. And you've encouraged me. You helped me. He's motivating. Josh is one of the most business-minded people I've ever met. So anytime I come up with a business idea that I think is really just off the wall, I'm like, oh yeah, Josh, guess what? We need to try this. Have you ever,
so good,
tossed a dog off an airplane and people had to catch him at the bottom?
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. I love dogs.
Yeah.
A little bit. Maybe a little bit. But, it's just crazy. Like every time I have an idea, and Josh has never, ever been like, I don't know about that one or anything like that. He's like, no, I think that's awesome. Here's what you can add to it. This is how your business is going to be greater, Damian. And so we've thought about a lot of things. We've tried a lot of things. And to see, in life, some 15 some odd years later where we're at and where we've come to in life, is amazing, because having this dude in your life is a win. He knows so many people and is such a positive light in people's life. But that's part of that mindset to success.
Yeah.
He's already had it.
Yeah.
And for those that didn't know, a bald man can blush all the way up to the head just by half a compliment.
go.
Look at how red
thing
that guy
shining.
is. Dude, shining
Look
up.
at that.
No, I appreciate it, man. And you know what? It talks too about what Justin talks about. It's just surrounding yourself around the right people, right?
Yeah.
Making sure your circle of influence are those that can, help you just be better in life and do the things that you want to do, and not put you down, but support you, right? Just find ways to help you get better in all the ideas you come up with, whatever it is. And man, as we just, wrap this up, I just want you to know, it's just a pleasure to learn from you all the time. I mean, it has been fun, going with you through those ups and downs and going through things. And same with me. You've seen me go through those things. And to have you as a support person in my life and just have those people around you, that is what it's all about, man. It is just making sure that you plug yourself around the people that are going to be amazing. Yeah. That's who Justin is. That's who you are. That's who everybody is that I put in my life. And so you coming on here and sharing this today and giving people insight and how they can make their lives better through the things that you've done and through the challenges you've had is just awesome, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys having me.
And I will tell you, you've used this word several times today in reference to you are proud of the program that you're building. You're proud of the kids. You're proud of your personal kids. I mean, you're just said this proud thing all the time. There's one word that I hope you get from today, and that is how proud you make those that know you around you. Because I had a very limited amount of time with you as a kid.
Hey, that's entire life.
But for life, right? And I'm proud to say that I knew you win. I'm proud to say that I see what you're doing. Even if we haven't talked in years and years and years, you make all of us feel proud, whether from Aurora or wherever, because of how you attack the day and what you do. And I'm going to keep spreading what you're doing. I'm going to tell all my friends from the past, from Centaurs, what you're up to. And I could tell you this, and I think you would agree, man, what's next for you is going to make a dent in this world. It is going to make an impact beyond what you're doing now. And you could stay where you are for the next 30 years and do that, but I don't think that's going to happen. There is some...
Man, there's always a plan, right? There's always a plan. Your growth and your success will move in the shape that it's supposed to. You just have to believe and know that. I don't have a plan that allows me to drive the wheel. I let the big man upstairs do the driving for me, and that's one thing that I've learned to do, is not think that I've been behind any of this success. I've just worked hard.
Yeah.
And then God has been the way for me that's helped me. So super excited about what everyone's doing. Thank you guys for having
awesome.
me.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate it.
Oh, do we want to have our so every week?
Oh, fat kid moment, real quick.
Every week,
real
we
quick.
share stories of
I
being
saw
fat
that.
kids.
I saw that hashtag fat kid. I was like, is
yeah.
he talking about me? Like, I'm
Right.
in the gym, man. Like, how are you going to call me a fat kid?
And you were in the office and saw us, and you're like, yeah, I
I
get
almost
it.
he's like,
deleted
oh, I
him
get
off
it.
my Instagram. Fat kid. What's a fat kid moment?
So every week, Josh and I struggle, right? We love snacks. We love eating shitty food. We're good at it. It's what we do best. But we share our stories because we're trying to get better at it, and we want accountability. We want people calling us out. But part of that accountability is being real and being honest. And so we share a moment from our past week about where we struggled, what we did, that shameful moment where you put your head on the pillow and go, I cannot believe that just happened. So I did have one. Maybe probably more than one. But we went to Palm Springs last week for a convention, right? We land. We drive towards the conference, and we're like, well, this is going to be a resort. You know, they're not going to have snacks at night. We're going to have room service. You get like a, piece of cake for $45. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So we pulled into the drugstore, and we're like, well, let's just get a few snacks just for late night, right? We're just chilling. Man, it was like 2 grocery bags later. For 2 nights. I'm like, what are we doing here? What is...
How much of that came home with you?
I mean... We had like 1 box of peanut M&Ms that came home with us.
That means you got after those 2 bags. Man.
We crushed.
Right.
We crushed. And I felt horrible the whole time. But I'm keeping it real. I did. I'm not doing it again.
There you go.
But now we got good snacks at home. So I'm feeling good.
So, my family knows I'm on this meal plan trying to get the body right.
I'm not listening. I'm about to text my son.
Yeah, you tell your son.
I'm coming to pick
tell
him
him.
up. 'Cause
Nice.
I pick up kids.
Nice.
But so this week, somehow some cinnamon rolls got put in the house, and that I really don't know how that was. It was somehow, but my family would not let me have one. So you know what? They all go to bed at some point. So my family went to bed. I'm still watching TV, and we have a quiet microwave. That thing got warmed up. I pounded me one of those cinnamon rolls, real good. That was a true fat kid moment because I was like, when you put a plan behind how you're going to get to your chubby food, that's not good. So my family went to bed. I got myself a cinnamon roll.
All right, so when they're still awake and you're getting ready to wrap up like the night, or were you like, hey, go to bed?
Oh, no, I knew they were going to bed
Go
soon.
to bed.
There was a reason why I stayed on the couch waiting for them to go to bed. I was like, oh, this game will be over soon. I'm waiting downstairs, and then, went and got myself my cinnamon roll.
Good for you.
So I'm going to say that, so Josh is on my my calorie counting. So we have the... That's right. So let me just...
Is he lying right now?
I mean, he might...
He didn't add
I
the
don't think he's
cinnamon
lying
roll?
because I can tell you right now, like here's today. I'll be keeping track of this. Right?
Oh, my God.
So I know how many active calories you go through. Like yesterday was good.
Right. Yeah, I
What
got
was this?
after it yesterday.
Did you work out yesterday?
Yeah.
I got exercise 45 minutes.
I did about a 4-mile
40
walk
minutes.
yesterday. So
See,
there you go.
I know when you. So he is probably. So you deserved if you ate that. Yesterday.
That wasn't yesterday, damn it.
I can tell you. All right, I'm just trying to help you out. So there's that.
That's
So is it my fat
hilarious.
kid?
Yeah, what's your
Please.
fat kid?
Okay. So my fat kid moment. So I've been on this health kick. I've been kind of. I've been on it. Like I'm legit right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toot that horn right there, and because I've been on it, I actually lost about 30 pounds.
Right.
And so I'm actually back down to like my playing weight.
Damn.
Although my body won't allow it, I'm just.
No, come back.
I'm like that. I tell my wife I'm like a motorcycle that looks good. I don't go fast. I just look good. I'm like, I'm not 800. I'm like,
Don't get on it, right?
I'm 150 cc. I'm not a 900 or whatever, 1,000. That's not me. So, but what we do is we've been on this little diet thing. Now that being said, so fat kid moment. trying to think. So actually, just the other day, my wife started this. We've started this cleanse thing, and she was like, "You got to do this cleanse," and I'm like, "Oh man, like I'm good. Everything I've been doing is been working. Take a look at me. Look at, I'm good." And she was like, "No, we got to do this cleanse." And so, the other day, because this cleanse is it's strict, like what you can and what you can't eat. Yeah, that sucks. I don't want to cuss, but that really sucks.
Yeah.
And so, the other day, she was gone. The house is just me and her son's gone. And I'm in there and I'm starving. Like I'm looking at him like chicken breast, turkey breast. I'm like, there's vegetables. And so I'm scrambling. Like I look like I feel like I robbed my house. There's stuff all over. And I go in and I find chips. I take we don't have many sweets, and so but I found some like chocolate chips, like
semi-sweet.
Chocolate chips. I grabbed some nuts and I put those in my hands with the nuts. I'm like, well, this is healthy too.
So this is a trail mix.
Right, this is my trail mix. And I'm eating chips. I find some cheese, so they're like salsarito chips. So I find some cheese, like old school, and make the nachos
melted on there.
Melted on there. It's like if you cook it too long, your cheese is the whole thing.
Stiff.
So you got to watch it every minute, just enough to turn the microwave off. I make nacho chips, and I was smashing anything that I could. Just the other day, because it was like, I don't know, it's like it changed my routine up. So my routine is so set that I'm like, I'm good. But now that we have to do this for 7 days or 6 days or so, it just messed me up, and my mindset wasn't ready for it. So I'm sitting around the house, and I'm just like, I'm trying to eat anything.
Just shoveling.
If I could have went and bought some cookies or something like that and just smashed those, I would have. But I tried to just stay within the walls of my house and make whatever I could. So that was my fat kid moment. Was that
you need better snacks.
I can't.
That's what I heard.
I don't put them in the house. I don't put them in the house. I get mad if anyone buys them, brings them over. I'll throw stuff away. Like it's really that's part of my whole thing. When I say that mindset to success, that is part of it. Like I'm like, I want to be able to control that enough. Now, granted, don't get it twisted. I will smash a burger and cookies and stuff if they're around. And if I come to your house, I will eat your stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Deal. Well, you live down the street, so
right, exactly.
So I know where
bring your snack game. And let's get it, baby.
Hey, hon.
See Justin ravishing through your trash. He threw us some cookies today. I saw that.
Exactly. You're gonna see me over by your house knocking on the door. Hey, so what are you doing? You came to hang out with me? Yeah, I went through your cabinets.
Where's your kitchen at?
Yeah, where's the kitchen? This is a nice house. Is this the kitchen? That's what that's gonna look like.
I love it.
I'm gonna go back home. My wife's gonna be like, "You've been eating so good." I know,
baby. I look good.
Right? You're like,
I love it. Well, man, thank you for coming out. I know you got to roll. We got to roll. I know everybody else is plugged in. You guys, thank you so much. Absolute great day. We learned a lot. Hope you guys can go implement some of these things in your life and. Just have a great week until we see you next week.
Here we go. Thanks for repping A-Town, baby. Here we go.
All
right, y'all. See you next week.